All right. Here we are live. Are we live? 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, I'm excited. Oh, jeez. I should have been already set up. I'm not even set up, y'all. Okay. Jeez. I should have been already set up. I'm not even set up, y'all. Okay. Uh, okay. Here we are. Okay. Hey, what's up, TikTok? I'm like still getting so used to like coming live on here, but it is really good to see you guys. And I am here, y'all, to talk about something that I've overcome. Okay. And so that thing is you got to know who you are. You got to know who you are inside and out, because when you don't know who you are, other people will tell you who you are. They will create an image for you and put that on you and say that's who you are. So it is so important to know you inside and out. Okay? Because I've been in situations, let me just tell y'all real quick. I've been in situations where I didn't feel confident, where I didn't feel like I was that bitch. I didn't have that type of charisma that I know I had deep inside. I wasn't bringing that to the forefront. And so what happened was people tried to play with me. People tried to create a image of me and say that was who I was. Okay? I remember coming up in my transition and just certain family members around that really felt like they didn't see it for me or whatever case might be. And I was still discovering who I was at this time, transitioning, growing into a woman. And I remember they always used to try to ostracize me away from the other women. Always try to make me seem like a caricature of who I really was. And back then, I used to play on to their ideologies. I used to go along with it and just to not rub people the wrong way. So I was that extroverted person that was, made everybody laugh and just made fun of theirself, and deep down inside that wasn't who I was on that extent. I'm always a charismatic person. That's just who the hell I am. But it came to a point where I allowed people to just play with me like a puppet, to the point where, they saying little shit about me. They, throwing jabs at me. But you still a man. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Trying to clock me, trying to clock my tea, like trying to make me feel bad. And, for a certain period of time, it worked. And I took on that ideology. I believed that negative shit that they were saying about me, and I made it into my own truth. And what happened was I got everything that person that wasn't who I really was got. So now everybody around me started to play with me. It started off with my family, but because I subconsciously made that my belief, it came to the point where other people I didn't even fucking know was playing with me on such a level that, I really had to like become serious, like stop being so jokey and really be serious so people could take me serious. I had to discover who I truly was. Because what happened was people was fucking ragdolling my ass around. Okay? Trying to break my self-esteem down to the point where I believed everything that they said about me. And until I took my power back and stood up to those people and let them know, hey, bitch, this ain't who I am. Look, don't fucking play with me. Start setting boundaries, okay? A lot of times people be playing with you because you have coarse boundaries. You have weak-ass boundaries. So people see that Even if they don't know you, it's an energy that you give off. And so they play with you. They try to ragdoll you in the spirit, try to play with your confidence and your self-esteem because they already see in you that you're not really confident like that. Like, if for instance, take it for instance when you in school, right? And you see the big bad bully, and the bullies always pick on the weaker kids, or the kids that are more so unsure of who they are. And they play with these people because they see, damn, they're easy target. If you don't know who you are, then you're going to allow anything. You will allow people to treat you any type of way. And so what I had to do was I had to boss the fuck up. I had to boss up. Okay? I had to grow some fucking some ovaries, bitch. Fuck balls, cause women take more criticism than men. No shade. It's just the truth. Until I had to grow some fucking ovaries and stand up to these people and really become that person that they didn't like, because I was trying to be so damn likable. Once I became that person that people didn't like, I got more respect. Once I stopped being so fucking nice, that's when I got my respect. Because I created this person based on others people's perception of me. And so now the bullies of the world tried to fuck with me and take my own self-image and perception of how I see myself. So this is just a message and to really let you know, yo, wake up and discover who you are. Because people will tell you who you are and they'll move accordingly on it. Okay, let me read what somebody said. Gigi, I am 19 years old, T-girl, also from the DMV. Can we connect at some point? This is so real. I would absolutely shoot me a DM, baby. I would love that. That is fine with me. And you so young. You got so much to learn and grow. Girl, let me tell you, if I knew a lot of the shit back then when I was 19 and 18 years old, yo, if I knew who I was, like self-assured in who I was, and I didn't wait for my physical exterior to become that way to believe who I was, like my journey as a woman and as a trans person was so extensive. You know, like, it is essential with all of us. But beings, though, that I really had to grow into my confidence. And that hindered me from doing the things that I wanted to do the most. Because it was my self-image. Oh, my God. It's my self-image. My self-image was tainted. I had a tainted self-image. I had a self-image of low self-esteem, of depression, of anxiety, of being the joke, the butt of the joke, okay? That was who I was. And until I threw that out and said, who are you really? Once I really started to ask myself this question, who the fuck are you, bitch? Who are you? Like, what do you like? How do you like people to treat you? How do you want people to see you? Once I started answering those questions, I changed my self-image. I changed my self-image. And so therefore, when my self-image started to change, this is how manifestation works. I'm teaching y'all something. You gotta catch it. Okay? Once I changed the way I seen myself, the things around, oh my God, y'all, the things around me started to change. The relationships that I was in started to change. That's another thing. Oh, I ain't even gonna get too deep into that. That's a whole nother thing. But the relationships that you be in, is based on your self-image, how you see yourself. So when you in a toxic ass relationship, you gotta ask yourself, what is it about me? And yes, that person must very much may be very toxic, narcissistic, whatever. But what is it about me? How did I see myself for this to even I allow this, for me to even allow this type of abuse, right? And so it permeates every area of your life. And once I answer those questions, who am I? These are the most powerful questions. That is the most powerful question that you're going to ask yourself in your life. One of the biggest ones, probably the biggest one. Who am I? And everything that you believe to be true about yourself will manifest in your life. The car you drive, where you live, the man that you are in a relationship with, shit, even the type of food that you eat. Okay? Some people don't see themselves of being worthy of eating good or worthy of spending that extra money to get the healthier version of that food. You know, it permeates every area of your life. Another one, right? Just another quick example for y'all. I'm gonna get you, baby. I'm gonna make sure I read your message, but I gotta say this before I forget it. I remember when I was younger, right? I used to have this best friend, and beautiful, 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 beautiful girl. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, across the board, face, body, all that, right? And she always used to wear, and I'm not knocking nobody that wears synthetic hair, right? But she always wore synthetic wigs. And don't get me wrong, because she was beautiful, she could pull it off. She was creative with hair and makeup. It didn't make a difference for her, really, right? But I noticed, like, damn, she don't ever get, like, the good shit. Like, she don't ever, like, it ain't nothing wrong with it, but it's like, at some point, as leveling up, you going work your way up the scale. And she never seen herself valuable enough to get anything more than what she already thought she could get. So she stayed wearing synthetic wigs to this day for the rest of her life. And I started off with the cinnies, with the synthetic wigs. Girl, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this, bitch. You know, I started off wearing the synthetic wigs. Bitch had to make something shape. But the difference was I changed my mindset. And I said, I think I'm worthy of this. This is better quality, and I think that I'm worth it. And so what happened? I got those things. I got the human hair. I started to get the human hair. I said, I used to work picking up trash, right? Picking up trash around the Oreo baseball stadium. And around the Ravens football stadium, right? I used to do that for a living, okay? And it was a horrible fucking job. Like, them motherfuckers is dirty, okay? I started to do that for a full-time living. And until I grew my mindset, God was working on me at this time. And I started to change my mindset on what I thought I was worthy of. I started to get into my makeup. I said, I'm a makeup artist. I need to be doing makeup. And so what happened? I outgrew that job based off of my self-image. And it was some people that worked there that has been working at that Oreo baseball stadium as trash cleanups. They've been working there for 20 years and more. Why is that you say? Because of this. Because of that mindset. Because of that mindset. Nothing to you is obtainable. Only thing that is limited is your belief. Nothing in this world is far-fetched. You can get it. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, you will achieve. And so this is why self-image is so damn important. Because you will change your life with it. It is a tool. your imagination is a tool. I had to use my imagination to start envisioning, literally, and I thought I was weird when I was doing this as a child. I would sit down and envision the body I wanted, the life I wanted, my skin, my hair. This is mine, y'all, okay? I manifested this. I manifested that. I used to be a bald head girl, okay? I was bald headed. I had to see my hair long. I had to see my skin clear. I had to see the body that I wanted. I had to see it before I could even obtain it. Before I even had an ounce of, confirmation that it was going to come. And this is why faith is so important too. But you got to work on your self-image. You got to create it. Sit down and meditate with yourself. Meditation ain't like this. It's not always like that. That's not what it's going to look like. But it's going to look like sitting the hell down with yourself and asking yourself these very questions. Who am I? And then start imagining it. Start even writing it down. That power of the pen is so important. Even before I manifested being a makeup artist, like the type of level of makeup artist that I am on now, and I'm still growing, y'all, but your girl don't have to work a job if she don't want to. And I do work a job, but I don't have to. And I only been working a job for 1 year. Okay? But this is my self-image. This is how self-image works. Because I manifested, because I had the image in myself of who I wanted to be, it started to manifest. The clients came. They just started coming. And then it got to a point where I had to imagine myself getting more higher, like upper echelon type of clients. I had to manifest it. I had to think about it. I had to imagine in it. Like if you ever see celebrities and be like, I used to always dream about meeting Nicki Minaj, for instance. I always used to dream about that. I used to dream about this. It's because they self-image. They had a self-image that you didn't have and that you wasn't willing to obtain. And that's how they got to where the level that they are. Some people imaginations are just greater than others. And we all have the same ability, but some people work theirs more. Some people actually use the intention to think about it and manifest the life that they want to. And anytime that we're not getting what we desire out of life, we got to ask ourselves, what am I thinking about? Because lots of times what you're thinking about is the perception of the person that you are. So change your perception of yourself. Okay? I'm gonna read this message really quick because I'm going and going. I'm going in, y'all. I'm going in. I need to say this. Okay, I definitely need some support because I really have no one else like us in my life. I get it. I'll definitely text you. Okay, please do, mama. Please do, because I understand what it's like too, being young and figuring out life. Figuring out life, not really having nobody like you. And especially as the type of women that we are, the special type of women that we are, it's hard to find girls like us. Like, we're rarities. It's not a whole bunch of us. It's just not. That's why when they try and go off the board about, trans are just taking over the world, baby, it's not even enough for us to take off. Bitch, not even if we wanted to. It's not enough of us. Okay? Y'all be worrying about that 1%. Y'all need to be worrying about the other 1%. Okay? But that's what Laverne Cox said. Y'all worrying about the wrong 1%. Y'all need to be worrying about the billionaires. But anyway, I'm getting off a topic. Okay? But we got to work on that, y'all. And especially when you young. Your imagination. Oh my God. It's just like that's where you got to speak life into your children because their brains are more receptive to receiving that information. They're like sponges. And that's even when you're younger. Like, your brain don't fully stop function really growing until you're about 30. I would say even like 49, because the human brain has the ability to keep growing. But you got to use it more like a muscle. You got to work more at it when you get older. But when you're young like that, your mind is so, oh my God, you can reshape your whole life. If I knew what I knew now at the age of 19, 16, and 15, oh my God. I would have had a whole new life than what I have now. It would have been more. I would have gotten where I needed to get to a lot quicker. So that's why, and when you're young like that, take advantage of the fact that you are young and your mind is still being able to be molded. You're able to change your perception of this world at a very young age, to where the point when you get in 30, yo, you a beast. You're a beast. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You can manifest your life with ease. And that don't mean you ain't gonna still have problems. But the problems that the other version of you would have, rather than the you that you want to be have, are going to be two completely different things. Okay? You're going to be just worried about paying taxes and, what furniture you can get and how you got to get this new car and why this ain't going through, because you got the money in your car, so what you need, it's going to be like those type of problems. But the problems of this world that are more harsh, you'll be protected from, because you'll create this world for yourself that is pretty much impossible for somebody to pop your bubble, so to speak. Okay? And this is why your self-image is so important. It permeates every part of your life. I wish somebody would have told me this when I was younger. This information is kind of like under the table, but this is the information that the celebrities used. Nicki, and I'm going to use Nicki for example. I don't care who don't like her. I love, that's my it. Okay? But this woman has gotten to the heights that she has gotten to, not just because she's just this, so great artist, even though she is, right? But we can admit that, damn, that's some other great artists too, right? That's some great artists. They could probably, you could even say they rap better than Nicki, right? Just, if that's your opinion, right? Not knocking you. But the thing is, they didn't have that same self-image that she had. She said, I'm the baddest, man. I'm the baddest in the game. Baddest in the school, the baddest in the game. Excuse me, honey, because nobody's in my lane. It wasn't that her words. Okay, I'm taking some things back. I'm schooling the girls. Okay? This was so important because not even just the lyrics itself or what she said, but the meaning, the intention behind it. She believed it. Everything around her could have been saying, it's a lot of artists with that type of story too. They'd be like, girl, I was struggling. Even Gorilla, I was listening to her interview. And she was like, before I blew up, like, girl, I was struggling. I was financially like, bitch, going through it. Like, how am I going to do this? But she was still spending her last bit of money on the studio sessions, right? Because of herself. And this is why, oh my God, y'all, I'm trying not to get emotional right now, because this is why I love God, because, it's a principle, it's a key, and it works for any and everybody, no matter creed, color, gender, whatever. But as a man thinketh, so is he. She acted in a way that she already made it, regardless of what she was seeing externally. Externally, she was in debt. But in her mind, in her spirit, in her heart, in her soul, she knew, I'm that bitch. I'm gonna make it. I'm making it. I'm the hottest new female rapper. That's what she said to herself. That was the energy and intention that she put out there. And God ain't have no choice but to bless her. Goddamn, my earring falling off. I'm getting all all riled up and shit, y'all. But God had no choice but to bless this woman. He ain't had no choice because he can't go against, hey, baby. Renee, hey, baby. Hey, thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. But God didn't have no choice but to bless her. He can't. God is not a man that he show lie. He gotta abide by his own rules, by his own laws, his own universal laws that he set up. He said, I gotta give it to you. I got to. And that's not to go say make stupid decisions, y'all. But when you move with that certain type of tension, that's why a lot of people don't have no plan Bs. You know, when you doing something and you striving towards greatness, you like, I ain't got no plan B. This is who I am. This is what it is. It ain't no plan B, no, bitch, this is it. This is who I am. It's gonna work. It's gonna have to manifest. It's based off of a mindset. Okay? And that's all I want to say, y'all. I'm getting heat. I'm getting all worked up and shit. About to cry my makeup off. But I'm so passionate about this topic. I'm so passionate about just people getting it and not suffering in the ways that I had to suffer to find out like that, like how I had to find out. Like if somebody was to tell me this and I could just get it, I would have did that. But it took a lot of discovery and God revealing things over time for me. Excuse me, Jesus, for me to get where I am. So yeah, sure. That's all I want to say. That's all I wanted to spread to you, beautiful people. If you haven't been feeling like that you are loved, I want to remind you that you are loved. You are loved. You are the embodiment of love. God created you that way. That's how you're in existence. Remember that you are light. You are light as a feather. Don't let the burdens of this world or your own negative perception of you weigh you down so much to bury you in this world. Our kingdom is not of this world. But it is in heaven. It's in your mind, your imagination. That is the spirit place. That's where God dwells. And lastly, be peace. Don't let anything of this world rob you of your peace. Peace is created within this very moment, within the now. Okay? Remember that. I love y'all. And until next time, peace.